everyone, it's Katie from Paradise Falls family. In this video, we're continuing our Hawaii 2023 vlog series by looking at our time in Oahu, Hawaii. We stayed here at Disney's Aulani resort for 7 nights as part of a longer trip to California and Hawaii, and we had an amazing time. In our previous videos, we've given a summary of the resort and talked through our first few days on the island. In this video, we're going to talk through days 5 and 6, giving an overview of how we spent our time and what we got up to on Oahu, including visiting Kualoa Ranch and the Polynesian Cultural Center, as well as enjoying some more resort time. As I mentioned in our last few videos, we wanted to split our week about 50-50 between exploring the island and relaxing in the resort. So we decided we'd rent a car for around 3.5 days and spend the rest of the time around the hotel. Day 5 was our last full day with the car, so we wanted to make sure we made the most of it before spending the rest of the week relaxing in and around Aulani. Our plan for day 5 was to split our time between Kualoa Ranch and the Polynesian Cultural Center, both located on Oahu's northeastern shore. Kualoa Ranch was one of the first things on our list for Oahu, as aside from it being a beautiful part of the island, it's been used as a filming location for countless movies and TV shows. It offers a whole range of different tours to explore the ranch, including movie tours, UTV tours, horseback riding and ziplining. However, the main reason we wanted to go there was to see some of the sights from the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies, so we'd booked onto the Jurassic Adventure Tour, which focuses on these films. We booked the tour on Viator for around £350 for the 4 of us, with the link in the description below this video, but you can book direct as well. Either way, book early as the tours do fill up. We'd gone for the 9 AM tour to make the most of our day, and you need to check in around 45 minutes before the tour starts, so it was an early start for us at around 7 AM to get there for 8 AM. The ranch was already busy by the time we arrived, but we were able to park easily, check in and have a look around the shop and the centre before our tour started. The tour was scheduled to last 2.5 hours and we were warned that there were no bathrooms along the way, so keep that in mind, particularly if you've got kids, although we were told we could always use a bush if necessary. Different tours take place in different vehicles. Ours was an open truck which seated 16 and there really wasn't a bad seat. The driver up front gave a fantastic running commentary as we toured around the ranch, which is actually spread across 3 valleys, all of which we visited. We began in an old army bunker which itself has been used for a filming location many times, but it's now a mini museum to some of the movies and shows that have been filmed here, including exhibits on Jurassic World and the TV series Lost. We then moved on to another of the valleys, which is known as the Jurassic Valley and features many filming locations, including the Gallimimus chase scene from Jurassic Park, shots and locations from Jurassic World, including the helicopter pad location, the gyrosphere location and the stampede scene from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. We were given the opportunity to hop off and get photos and even recreate a couple of scenes, which was really fun and made it more than just a bus tour. In the next valley over was the final location and one of the main reasons we chose this tour, the Indominus Rex paddock from Jurassic World. This is a really impressive full-size set still intact from filming, and it was really cool to see and a great way to finish the tour. The scenery on the tour was fantastic and the locations were really cool to see. It felt like you really were in Jurassic Park, so we all had a brilliant time. I'd say the only disappointing aspect was that we thought we'd see lots of other locations from other movies along the way as we went around, but these weren't really mentioned that much. The ranch seems pretty clever about keeping the tours distinct and separate, so keep that in mind. The general movie tour would have been another great option to see locations from things like Lost, Godzilla and Jumanji, but we had an amazing time, so we'll just have to try and return one day to do another of the tours on offer here. Back at the visitor centre, we decided to go ahead and have an early lunch at Auntie Pat's Cafe, which is a busy but really good spot to try and get some food either before or after your tour. We were able to get meals for the 4 of us for around $50, so really reasonable compared to some of the prices in and around our resort. So after an exciting morning, we left the ranch and headed off up the coast to the Polynesian Cultural Center for the afternoon, spotting one final Jurassic Park location on the drive on the way, this time a dock that's briefly seen in the film Jurassic Park. I think the best way to describe the centre is kind of like a Polynesian theme park with 6 different areas, each focusing on a different Polynesian island with various activities and cultural demonstrations. Then in the evening they also put on a luau, and there's several different ticket packages you can buy. We already had a luau booked, so we selected the day package, which provides access to all of the different islands and lands but not the evening entertainment. This came to just over $300 for the 4 of us and meant we could enjoy the park from opening at 12:30 until 5:30 p.m. It's advertised that you can do the park in around 2 hours if you really want, so our rough plan was to spend a few hours here and then move on up to the North Shore to spend some time at Waimea Bay. However, we arrived at around 1 p.m. and stayed through until 5, with it being one of the best things we did all trip. The kids absolutely loved it here, and we spent ages exploring the different islands and learning more about the Polynesian culture. We hadn't originally planned to visit here, but so many people recommended it to us on our Instagram as one of the best things to do on the island, so we worked out a way to fit it in, and we're so pleased we did. On arrival, the kids were given a little passport which they could get stamped at each island in exchange for a free gift at the end of the day, and we downloaded the app which has details of everything on offer throughout the day. We decided to start off with the boat ride along the river to the top of the park and work our way back down the park back to the entrance. The park and the grounds are really beautiful, and it was a lovely place to spend the afternoon. The river is home to lots of fish, and the kids were given free food to feed the fish while we waited for our boat, which they loved. Although it was insanely hot by now, we were all given fans to cool us down on our journey through the park, and we grabbed a shave ice at the other end to freshen up. Our first island was Hawaii. We found there was too much to do in each area to be able to fit everything in, so we ended up concentrating more on the activities rather than the presentations or exhibits, as this is what our kids enjoyed more. In Hawaii there was hula lessons and traditional games which were really fun, and then we moved on to Tahiti. We spent ages here dotting between fishing and spear throwing, which were 2 of the main things that the kids said they wanted to do today. We didn't have any luck fishing, but we got pretty good with the spear throwing and finished by getting a washable tattoo. Next up was Fiji and more fishing, and then Tonga, where we were able to paddle and outrigger a canoe, which was loads of fun. There was more spear throwing and the chance to weave a windmill with coconut leaves, and then it was on to Aotearoa, where we played more games, and then the last island, Samoa, which was probably our favourite. This had a brilliant free climbing demonstration along with fire knife spinning.
The faster you cut, the faster they get to the top. There goes Bailey, all the way from Samoa, Peninsula. Here comes Cap. Cap is 56 years young and still climbing trees. He started climbing when he was 1 month old. You guys think that was awesome? Me too.
The kids were able to have a go at spinning the battens themselves, no fire involved for their battens though luckily, as well as making fire with sticks, and we spent ages here while the kids played. You can also buy fresh coconuts, so we got a couple to cool down and just chill out a little. Our last stop for the day was the Hawaiian Mission Settlement for our last activity, ukulele lessons, which we'd already enjoyed so much when we did them at Aulani. This was a lovely little session and a must do if you're here. By By now, we were all pretty tired, having spent a lot longer here than we'd planned, but we just had so much fun. We decided we'd have some food here before we left at the Luau marketplace to re-energise a little. There are loads of options here, and we had a lovely chilled meal at Pounder's restaurant for around $80, which again seemed really reasonable compared to some of the prices elsewhere on the island. The centre is close to the top right corner of the island on the eastern shore. To get back to Aulani, you can either drive south along the shore and then west past Honolulu, or you can head north along the north shore and back down the middle of the island. Both routes take around the same time. We went for the latter to have one last look at the north shore and set off around 6:30. We quickly realised we'd be driving the shore around sunset at 7 p.m, so we decided to stop at Sunset Beach to take in the gorgeous sunset. We were really lucky as there was a parking spot as we arrived, and we spent around 20 minutes or so exploring this gorgeous beach as the sun went down. It was a wonderful way to end our last day out exploring the island of Oahu. The journey back took around an hour, and we dropped the rental car off at the valet, who then take it back to the rental centre for you, so it was really easy. After a hectic few days exploring, we headed back to the room to get some rest, with a few days now to chill out and take it easier. The next day was spent around the resort area at Aulani, and we were able to have a more relaxed morning and a bit of a lie-in. We chilled out in the room for a bit before heading to the shop to pick out the kids' ukuleles that they wanted to buy, and then headed to our character breakfast at Makahiki for 10 a.m. We'd made sure to book this as soon as our 30-day booking window opened, as these reservations go really fast. Although we had a reservation, the queue was still really long, and we did have to wait for around 20 minutes before being seated. On the way in, you get to meet Mickey, followed by Minnie, and then you're shown to your table for breakfast, where another 2 characters will come to see you. In our case, this was Chip and Dale, but we noticed a mix of different characters here throughout the week. The breakfast is advertised as 3 courses, but in actual fact, this consists of some pastries which are brought to the table, plus a small fruit starter, but then a main course that you can pick from the menu yourselves. Not quite what we were expecting, but it was still really nice nonetheless. The atmosphere in the restaurant is great, pretty chilled and not as crammed in as a lot of Disney character meals can be, and there's live music while you eat. We probably spent just shy of 2 hours in the restaurant, including our wait, so it does eat up some time, but we had a lovely relaxed meal. This came to just under $200 for the 4 of us. Not cheap, but probably on a par with similar meals in the parks. I had the macadamia nut pancakes, and these were insanely good. I still dream about them now. After our brunch, it was time to chill out on the beach for a few hours, which was fast becoming our favourite spot in the whole resort. We had a good few hours relaxing, playing in the ocean, and of course more boogie boarding. It's always pretty easy to get a sun lounger down on the beach, so it's easy enough to come and go, and we loved it there. We were even able to pop up to the Hawaii lawn to meet Donald Duck during the afternoon too, to tick off another character meet. Around 3 p.m. there was a pool party, so we headed up to join in with Mickey, Goofy and Max. This takes place once a week in the main pool and gets everyone involved, dancing and taking part. With it being so popular, it did get really crowded though, which didn't give you a lot of space to move about and meant that we actually got pretty cold in the water. As a result, we didn't last until the end, but we still had fun and we headed out early to get some treats. This time, some cupcakes from the market and shave ice from Papalua Shave Ice by the pool, which we enjoyed on the way back to the room to get ready for the evening. Tonight, it was time for our luau. There are loads of different luau's to choose from across the island, including one at Aulani. However, we decided to go for Paradise Cove, which is just down the road from Aulani. We'd heard good things, it's got great reviews, and it costs slightly less than the luau at Aulani, although still not cheap at $480 for the 4 of us. Still, it was something we really wanted to experience while we were here in Hawaii. We'd booked in advance and gone for the cheapest package. There are a couple of different packages which include various different things, but the main difference in the package levels is the seating. We were happy to go for the cheapest and to sit further away and to the side and enjoy the show from there, and this worked out absolutely fine. Paradise Cove is located really close by, just a few minutes walk from Aulani. Basically, you just go out of the front of the hotel, turn left and walk for a few minutes. The box office opens at 4 p.m. to pick up your tickets, and then gates open at 5 p.m. Upon entry, you're given a free lei, the type of which varies according to the package that you book, your drinks vouchers and a free drink, which in our case was a Mai Tai for the adults and a fruit punch for the kids. You'll then walk to your table, which for us was first come first served in the area of your assigned seating. Seating for our package was on a long shared table with other families and groups around us, which was fine, and your seats are marked so you can get up and explore without losing your seats. You've then got a few hours to enjoy all of the activities on offer, have a drink and enjoy your meal. Situated around the stage and seating area are various different activities, including spear throwing and games, boat rides in a canoe and temporary tattoos. The kids had a great time with these, similar to those at the Polynesian Cultural Center the day before, but the queues for each activity were much longer here. And we popped into the shop for the kids to spend their vouchers. We used ours on another Mai Tai, and then it was time for the buffet. Tables are called up in order, and with ours being the cheapest package, we were called last. This was fine, except it meant the buffet closed soon after we got our food, so there's not much time for seconds, so keep that in mind. There was a fairly good selection of food, including veggies and allergies and food for the kids. It was decent quality and a nice meal, although we perhaps would have expected a little bit more for the money that we'd paid. The show itself began around 7 p.m. just as the sun was setting, and you can get some great pictures out over the ocean just beforehand if you're quick. The show lasted until around 8:45 and showcased some wonderful dancing and performances. The kids were given the opportunity to come up on the stage and learn some hula moves, which they loved, and then towards the end there was fire dancing, which was our favourite part. Overall, we had a lovely evening and we're really glad we got to experience a luau. It probably wasn't great for the kids in that they got a little bit bored at times, so perhaps the Aulani luau with the Disney slant might have been better with hindsight, but we still all had fun. It was expensive, but it felt like something we had to try while we were here, and we're really glad that we did. The next day was our last full day at Aulani, so we headed to bed to get some rest. I'll cover that last day and our transfer to our cruise in the next video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss this, as well as the rest of the series covering our cruise around the Hawaiian Islands. Thank you all so much for watching.